This is how a teacher's brain feels like at the very end of the school year, like this. So I just want to give you a little bit of an update. I thought you maybe would appreciate a little bit, kind of see what's happening here. Let me turn on some regular lights and maybe turn off that other light. Okay, so here's what's happening. Sorry, my hair and makeup people are gone for the moment, but just want to give you a little bit of an update on what's happening in class. We're in the home stretch, single digits, OMG. Now, a couple things. I slightly underestimated how much kids would love finger knitting. 5th and 4th taught them. I learned from a 2nd and a 3rd grader. Thank you, Explorers kids. And it sounds like a lot of people really enjoyed it. So kids were using this for a yarn bombing project in the courtyard. So that's what's happening. Kids are still making things. So if you want to send them in with the time that we have, great. Whatever we get to, I'll make sure that it gets attached to the tree. So thank you for people that are helping at home. Also special shout out to Emma and her grandma for helping with that project, and Ellie and her mom, 3rd grade Ellie. Thank you. You know who you are. If you know, you know. Okay, so yarn is cooking for 5th and 4th, 3rd grade, 2nd, 1st K. At this moment, a lot of kids at this point were finishing up with different creativity exercises, different drawing games. The very last week that I see kiddos typically is our time for gesture drawing, where students, we talk about proportions, we talk about the human figure, like wooden mannequins. And so it's the one time of the year where kids get to stand on top of a table, very supervised. I always say no 911 calls in my midst. It's the one time they get to stand on a table, they strike a pose, and then we draw them. Kids love it. It's a great lead-in, actually, for some of the 5th graders heading into middle school. So we're finishing up. That's our last cycle. One of the other things that I've been working on this spring, 5th and 4th have helped me with this. And these didn't get returned to portfolios. Portfolios are coming home, that big folder that has all of their artwork from the approximately 22, 23 sessions that I see them for the entire year. I call it the super glue project. There are several people, there are always lots of people that I just think kind of go unnoticed, that I kind of want to push into the limelight. Some of those people have been in the healthcare area, front desk staff that I thought were pretty incredible. Some of the paras that do a lot of the work behind the scenes for kids that they just don't know about and the kids don't appreciate. So some of those people, if you know who they are. I did something a little bit special. I assigned a person to each 5th and 4th grade class. So 12 classes total, 12 people. It was incredible. And I always faked some sort of an emergency. So these people would come into the room when the kids were making the project, so the kids could see their impact on this adult. The adults have been overwhelmed, and I've displayed these for a short amount of time, and then the finished projects are going to go home with that particular person. It's been so touching to watch kids really enjoy that and then see their impact, and the adults they've felt really appreciated. So that's something that's happening 5th and 4th for sure. Now, you know me, I love books. I'm always talking about books. Here's my last little run on books leading into the summer. Some of them are this Great Big Feeling series, Way Past Mean. Oh, you could hear a pin drop in the room when I read that one. Way Past Mad. I don't know if you're like me, but sometimes my children have lots of big feelings. And this is a way talking about it, but not talking about it, right? Is a good way to kind of get into their brain if they can see some of these things happening to another person. Sometimes it's helpful. Puppy in My Head by Elise Gravel. I love her artwork. I think it's always so great. But just talking about kind of this excitability all the time that kids are experiencing, our big feelings. We like to call it the puppy in our head. Puppies. Bless the people that actually get puppies, right? Because they're so excitable. I'll just say it that way, right? It's just a great way to talk about a magic leash, which is our breathing that helps kind of calm and center us. Okay, but my personal favorite, Pepper and Me by Beatrice Alemagna. This is an Italian illustrator. I just can't get enough of this lady's stuff. Anyway, she's great because she talks about, in this book, this little girl. And this little girl is super bummed because she got a giant scab on her knee. And so she talks about how she names her scab. And they're together for a really long time, and it doesn't go away, doesn't go away. And then all of a sudden one day it just disappears, and she's really, really sad about it. So it's again, everybody can identify. When I ask kids in class, how many of you have ever had a big scab? You've like fallen and they are willing to share the stories, which bless their souls. And I'm like, close it, love you, lock it, close it. Okay. But it's something that we all can identify with. Again, really great book, Pepper and Me. All right, so portfolios are coming home. Thank you to everybody. I've had a really, really, really great year. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, send them my way. Otherwise, have a wonderful summer. I'm going to keep posting content this summer and look forward to my coloring book that's hopefully going to be coming out this summer. So I'm putting it out there so I can be accountable. So thanks very much. Take care. Bye.